Hello and welcome back to the lecture series of advertising. In today's lecture, we will be learning about the various types of advertising and their pros and cons. I am Sakshi Mandwal and our subject expert today is Ms. Riya Gupta, working as an academic cum teaching associate with IIMC Teaching Advertising and Media Planning in all the departments of IIMC. In the last lecture of Types of Advertising Part 1, we covered classified advertising, corporate advertising and financial advertising. In this session of Types of Advertising Part 2, we will be talking more about the different types of advertisements. We will understand what are educational advertisements, NGO advertisements, public service advertisements, generally called as PSAs, and institutional advertising. Educational advertising refers to ad campaigns in which the creator attempts to inform, update or persuade the public to engage in or avoid current issues. It focuses on several modern social, political, religious and consumer-based issues. Let's talk about educational advertising during the COVID-19 period. Homeschool became the new norm. Scholarships were uncertain. Plus, you want to finally buckle down on learning that new language while being stuck at home. Education is on a lot of people's minds right now, and effectively reaching those people as a marketeer and building effective advertising campaigns means empathizing with their current situation, but also their curiosity about how education will change. They're the simplest yet hardest questions to answer. What are my consumers currently interested in, curious about, or concerned about? How can I be valuable while aligning myself with those interests, curiosities, or concerns? Especially in today's world, a lot of this can be answered based on their content consumption habits online. Using data from our network of 20,000 publishers, advertisers, and digital properties, we have surfaced some revealing trends about educating consumers, including their current interests, when and how to reach them online, and creative strategies to support you in building an effective advertising campaign. As a whole, education itself is having a moment. We've seen a 51% increase in page views on publisher sites over the last 45 days, posing a big opportunity for advertisers to reach those audiences while they are engaged. I'm sure you people have heard or seen Teach for India advertising or various other foundations advertising. These organizations are non-profit organizations. An advertisement with a core aim to raise social issues and to help to make the world a better place is the motive of NGO advertising. Advertising for the good cause, promoting the importance of social and environmental responsibilities, encouraging participation of common people and urging them to donate for the cause are the main aim of this type of advertising. The advertisements with complicated narrative and long explanations don't attract attention. However, simple narratives with facts and maybe emotional story could get the attention of the right audience. For many NGOs, exposure is key. For CRY, the idea was to create a strong brand. Besides, do it without tear-stained faces and disturbing images that often define advertising for charitable organizations. But it's not like that. Few examples of NGOs can be CRY, Teach for India, Young Leaders, etc. Talking about public service advertising, as the name suggests, these advertisements are for the public. But before diving into it deep, we will be talking about the emergence of PSAs. PSAs came into existence with the entry of the United Nations into the World War II. Radio broadcasters and advertising agencies offered their skills and facilities towards the war efforts and established the War Advertising Council, which became the official home front propaganda arm of the Office of War Information. Public service announcements are generally inexpensive. The only cost is production. Public service announcements' goal is not to make a big scale profit. Understanding the PSAs in detail. Public service announcements are non product advertising that focus on sending a message instead of selling a product. PSAs are designed to inform the public about a specific issue or cause. It can be on community newspaper, classified, radio announcement, television spot, or social media. A PSA provides viewers, listeners, or readers with valuable information that could positively affect their lives. PSAs are intended to modify public attitudes by raising awareness about specific issues or any announcements by governments and NGOs. To communicate important social messages effectively and to empower the lives of the country's citizens, various ministries and departments of Government of India announced PSA, for example, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Swachh Bharat, Sulabh Shauchalay, Save Girl Child. Ministry of Road, Transport and Highways, Don't Drink and Drive, Lane Driving, Ministry of Labour and Employment, Child Labour. So the basic objective of PSA is to encourage the audience to do something usefully. PSA goal is to change public opinion and raise awareness in the society of any issues or any announcements by the government. How does a PSA work? PSA has the following elements. Audience. Prepare a list of groups and potential audiences that may have varying interests in the knowledge that is disseminated. Message. Clear. A message is easy to understand. Concise. A message is easy to read. Consistent. A message is related to information that is consistent with other existing information. Compelling. A message offers something that commands attention. And continuous. A message has a follow-up to make sure it is not forgotten or overlooked. Method. Both electronic and print formats of materials can be used for dissemination via mail, emails, websites, or as handouts during conferences, seminars, ceremonies, or broadcast on TV and radio, etc. Messenger. Identify a messenger for presentation, for example, celebrity for TV shoot. And the important components of PSA are as following. Strategy. The strategy is the logic and planning behind the PSA that gives it direction. It develops PSA to meet objectives and the audience's concerns. Advertisers direct ads to identified audiences. Creative idea. The central idea grabs the audience's attention. Planning strategy requires creative problem solving. Convincing and effective PSA requires creative thinking. Execution. Effective PSAs are well executed, reflecting the highest attention and importance in the society. Clients demand the best production the budget allows. Media. Television, internet, magazines and other media are used to reach a broad audience. Deciding how to deliver the message requires creativity. How you say something and where you say it is just as important as what you say. For this type of advertising, I have a really interesting case study to share with all of you. A case study on pulse polio. Pulse polio is an immunization campaign established by the Government of India to eliminate poliomyelitis, which is polio in India, by vaccinating all children under the age of 5 years against poliovirus. The project fights poliomyelitis through a large-scale pulse immunization program and monitoring for polio cases. In India, vaccination against polio started in 1978 with expanded program in immunization, EPI. In 1995, India launched Pulse Polio Immunization Program along with Universal Immunization Program, which aimed at 100% coverage. In 2002, 1,600 cases were reported in a major outbreak that originated in western Uttar Pradesh, UP, and spread into many other states, most of which had been polio-free for more than 1 year. After 2002, the initiatives including mass awareness programs, involvement of local level NGOs and community leaders, use of social media, carrying out surveys at local level, taking district as a unit to identify high risk areas, etc. The WHO in 2012 had announced India as polio-free nation. Advertising is the backbone of businesses. If done right, it can help a business earn millions, and this is precisely the reason why businesses across industries keep a substantial chunk of their budget for advertising. There are numerous kinds of advertising, and institutional advertising is one of them. With this, let's move on to the next type of advertising, which is institutional advertising. Also known as corporate advertising, institutional advertising is any type of advertising that promotes a business, organization, institution, or similar unit. In institutional advertising, the business promotes itself rather than its product. However, the important thing to remember here is that institutional advertising does not aim to sell anything directly. Institutional advertising is marketing and promoting a company, corporate firm, or institution rather than its product or service. The benefits, ideas, and philosophies of the businesses are conveyed lucidly. Many companies are faceless entities. This type of advertising gives a face to the company. The main objective of this type of advertising is first and foremost objective of institutional advertising, which is to promote the image of a business as a whole rather than as a single product or service. The business also tries to promote its mission, vision, as well as its philosophies and principles. Institutional advertising is also an effective way to create and maintain goodwill about the organization in the market. Organizations also use this kind of advertising to promote good qualities such as reliability, low prices, or good customer care that distinguish it from its competitors. For example, ITC, a multi-business conglomerate, tied hands with CRY to promote their Classmate stationery. All their stationery carried an environmental message, and ITC even donated 1 rupee for every stationery sold. Though one of its ITC's prime businesses was cigarettes, they managed to earn a good public image for the company because of the above initiative. Another successful institutional advertising example is by Idea Cellular, an Indian mobile network operator. Their advertising campaign, What an Idea Surgery, which targeted the growing issue of corruption in India, found an instant connect with the general public while simultaneously establishing Idea as a brand that cared about creating a corruption-free India. Coca-Cola too has been into institutional advertising since long. Known for Coke, its leading product, Coca-Cola has been at the forefront of promoting environmental concerns. Its advertisements that target at recycling and Greenpeace have been well received by the target consumers and have simultaneously helped them establish itself as a brand that promotes environmental sustainability. The various types of institutional advertising is the first kind of institutional advertising is in print and digital media. This includes brand promotion through advertisements placed in newspapers, magazines, emails, text messages, and others. The second kind of institutional advertising is on television and radio and consists of specially created infomercials and commercials. Let's now talk about the advantages of this type of advertising. Increase awareness of the organization. Building the organization's image through institutional advertising helps the organization build brand awareness. For example, if an organization dealing with luxury household goods wants to target customers with high income, it will craft an advertisement that has several symbols of luxury, like the fine wine or fancy homes, and thus entice its target customers who will end up splurging on their high-end goods. Building brand identity. If institutional advertising is aimed to follow a single theme, a cohesive brand identity is built. An example here would be a brand targeting its demographic consumer, the modern working. If its advertisements also include symbols of men or children, it would send a mixed signal to the demographic consumer and thus decrease the effect of its advertisement. Countering negative attitude. Institutional advertising is one of the most effective ways to counter the negative perception of consumers. A large majority of firms use this kind of advertising to counter a negative image of their company. ITC is one of the best examples here. In the example mentioned above, it used institutional advertising to counter customer perception about its tobacco products. Develop a subtle sales pitch. Institutional advertising also helps develop a subtle sales pitch. The target consumers who are subjected to this kind of advertising do not realize that they are being indirectly attracted to the products of the company. On the other hand, the disadvantages are, since institutional advertising only aims to promote the organization as a whole and not any specific product, some experts believe that they simply add to the advertising cost of the organization without substantial returns on investment in the short run. Institutional advertising and product advertising are similar in the characteristic that they tend to mislead consumers. Hence, consumers might feel cheated by the organization. Institutional advertising might sometimes lead to monopoly in the market. When an organization of a single industry starts to aggressively pursue institutional advertising, it might lead to a situation where it starts ruling over its competitors and thus creates monopoly. this might become dangerous for the market. Institutional advertising, like anything else, has a positive as well as negative side. However, if done correctly, it has a huge scope of helping establish a positive brand identity for the organization. With the ever increasing competition, it can act as a booster for organizations. There have been documented cases where an effective institutional marketing strategy has helped brands get ingrained in the minds of consumers and become their preferred choice. Institutional marketing is here to stay, and thus it's better to start using it to build a brand identity with the target consumers. While we have been talking about institutional advertising, it is also important to understand the difference between product advertising and institutional advertising. Product advertising focuses on promoting specific individual products, while institutional advertising focuses on promoting your overall brand. This may sound like there could be some overlap, and there inevitably is to an extent, but the underlying objective of each is different, and that's important. Product advertisements are trying to sell specific products immediately. Institutional advertisements are all about brand recognition and brand reputation. The latter is a more long-term approach to getting sales or leads, but it's no less important. Let's look at an example. Pandora is a jewelry brand that sells charm bracelets that are made for women. This ad from Pandora is an institutional ad designed to introduce the brand to new customers or remind past customers about them. They're going for romance in their ad, building a connection through an emotional memory so that users will hopefully remember them. And then, for a good example of a specific product ad, check out the image. It's highlighting a specific product collection, their Pandora Shine collection. Its big feature is the 18K gold plated jewelry, which is all inspired by nature. These are specific benefits and facts about a specific product line, designed to increase sales on these particular items. The difference between these two campaigns is striking. One is all about building brand awareness and hopefully driving traffic to the site where users may browse to see if they find something. The second is about getting sales on a specific product line and hopefully quickly. They go hand in hand together alongside each other, but they are each serving distinct purposes. For best results with product advertisements, you should focus on specific product features and benefits and niche customer pain points instead of overall brand benefits. You won't want to say all of our products are organic, for example. You just highlight the fact that this product was organic and that this could help the customer's family be healthier and happier. Mention the product name in the copy. You can also include it as a text overlay on the image or video and use retargeting or niche interest targeting so that you can show the most relevant campaigns to the right people, increasing the likelihood of relevant clicks. To get the maximum results with institutional advertisements, the following best practices should be applied. Use storytelling to help make that emotional connection with new users discovering you for the first time. Consider using video, which is a natural medium for storytelling and helps you capture new user interest. It also helps you convey feelings more effectively in a short frame time. Typically, you'll want to avoid mentioning specific products even if they appear in the visual of the ad. Or for all furniture is made with a quality hardwood or fine grain leather over describing a specific table or sofa. This is your place to mention that you have lower prices, are a premium brand, or are accessible to certain groups. Any of those across the board benefits that apply to your mission and all your products should be discussed here. In the example below, they feature competitive prices without mentioning specific products. Don't forget to mention your brand name in the copy. If you take part in any charity work or community events and find a natural way to advertise that, do it. That can count a lot for brand image. So to sum up, in this lecture, we talked about educational advertisements, which we do to educate people. It can be any form of educational, political, current issues, etc. Then we talked about NGO advertisements, which, as the name suggests, is done by non-profit organizations to maybe ask for donations or to get attention of the people towards any social cause. Next, PSA is issued by the government to spread awareness. We can understand it in the way of current situations of COVID-19, where various ads are being telecasted about how to sanitize your hands and to be careful while being in a public place. And lastly, about institutional advertising, which is companies promoting themselves rather than a particular product or category. That is all that we had for you in this lecture. Till we meet you in the next part, where we will be talking about different types of advertisements. We hope you enjoyed this session. See you again. Till the next time. Thank you and namaskar.